Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel Life with Alicia. My name is Alicia, and this is my new series called Expat Diaries. Hashtag Black Girl Abroad. I have my lovely guest Nicole here with me. Say hey to her. Say
Hey.
and this is just a series to kind of talk about being a Black girl abroad, but the difference is we're talking about being mostly like an expat, like we're living there, we're kind of like navigating that space. I know that it's a really big conversation now, so I wanted to be able to share and highlight women that I knew who moved abroad and how they're kind of like treading that space as well. If y'all didn't know, she did an interview. It's with is it CNBC?
CNBC, yeah.
Yeah, CNBC. It was talking about how you live on, wasn't it like 40 something thousand?
Yeah, and not a lot, child. Tax free. I like to tell people that, but yeah, and
Yeah,
then
technically it was like 47,000
yeah.
In Abu Dhabi. And they're like, what? Well, like I was reading all the comments and stuff like that. I did watch it too. I was like, they're like, what? How is this, or whatever. So it's a big conversation. People kind of want to know about it. And I know you like wrote a book about it and different things like that. So I was like, oh, you'd be a perfect person to talk to about it. And just,
Yeah.
hear about other people. People have questions and so yeah. So this is just basically like a casual conversation. And first, I do want to ask maybe if you want to share just a little bit about yourself
Okay.
and how you like heard about, living abroad, or how you heard about like the
Mm.
job, on how you kind of maneuvered that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like you said, my name is Nicole Brewer. I just tell people I'm an English teacher by day, travel, blogger, influencer, writer by night.
Yes.
And I've been living abroad now for like it's so crazy when I think about like 15 going on 16 years. When I first left the States in 2009, I was laid off from my job. It was the last recession, great recession we had back in 2008. At the end of the year, I was laid off my job and I was looking for work, and the struggle was real. And I
Mm-hmm.
decided to leave the country. And initially, I only planned on going abroad for like a year or two. I had a couple girlfriends, actually three in particular, three really good girlfriends who had all taught English in Japan at one point. And so I was like, in the back of my mind, I said, that's an interesting, thing to look into. And so when I initially decided to leave the States, I was looking at Japan, but I ended up going to Korea instead. That was ultimately the
Mm-hmm.
better choice for me. And I had a ball. I got to live in Korea for 3 years. But when I first left, I told myself I'd be gone for a year, maybe two, once the economy got better. And I just never came back, girl. I'm here in the States now, visiting family for summer. It's
Mm-hmm.
my routine. But for the most part, I've been loving being abroad. I was in Korea for 3.5 years. And then from there, I went to Oman for a year. I left Oman and went to school
Oh
in Germany, and then next to Abu Dhabi, right next
I
to.
said Abu
Yeah, yeah,
Dhabi.
yeah. You said Abu Dhabi, but yeah, it's
I'm
everybody.
in Oman actually.
Yeah, they the little brother UAE, right
Yeah,
next. So I like to call it. A lot of people.
I knew it wasn't Dubai, but
Yeah,
I
yeah. But
Oman.
I'm always over there. But
Yeah.
no. So like I was in Oman for a year, left, went to school in Germany, then came back. So here we are, 10+ years later, and still having a ball, living in Oman, teaching, traveling, and writing, and blogging, and being a travel advisor, a bunch of hats.
Yes, I was like, how did you like Germany? You taught over there?
Yeah, no, actually, I went to school in Germany,
You
so I
went
was
to
there for a
school.
year. Yeah, I did a master's program there, and then ended up coming back to Oman. That
Uh,
wasn't even in part of the plan. When I left to go to school in Germany, I was planning to get into like nonprofit humanitarian management work, and
mhm.
I never did it. Like I just ended up sticking with teaching because it was still, even with a master's, it was still hard, like trying to make that transition. So, yeah, I like to tell people I kind of fell into this position, but it's been
Mhm.
like a blessing in disguise to be able to teach and like still do what I love with traveling and writing. So everything worked out the way it was supposed to, but I never saw this life for myself, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, I was gonna be like, how does it feel doing the career? You said it's been 15 years out, because I was gonna be like, did you always want to be a teacher? But that kind of wasn't your plan. Do you feel like you ever get tired of teaching? Like,
Yeah. Pick me. Yes. And I'm in this moment right now. That's where I'm at right now. Like I'm in this,
mm,
I like to tell people I'm in this transitional phase where I'm like, okay, what's next? Because
yeah.
I've done this for longer than I anticipated, but it's just
Mhm.
I'm at a point where I've been comfortable, and you know what they say about that. Like I'm a little too comfortable because it's just like, oh, I can just. Right now, I'm a full time government. Like I'm hired directly with my university, so like I don't even
Mhm.
have to renew my contract. So I'm just like, oh, I can just go back to
Mm.
mine, which is a blessing because like a lot of people don't have jobs. So I'm like,
Mm.
I've been conflicted. Like, okay, Nicole, how are you going to get out of teaching? And and everything has been coming to fruition with my blog and with writing and all these
Yeah.
features. Like ultimately, the ultimate goal is to transition into travel full time. Like I'm a part time travel advisor and writer, and that's really the end goal. Like to be able to transition out of teaching and be able to,
And be like a full-time travel blogger?
yeah, like that's really,
Okay.
you know what I mean. Like that's the dream. So and then also I'm like a travel agent as well. It's like booking trips and
Mhm.
planning trips, and so I'm like that's why wear so many hats because I'm like eventually I wanted to be
You wanna be like
travel
you?
writer and advisor by day, and then teacher just goes away.
You follow Nika?
Oh yeah,
Nika the
she
Traveler?
goes. I literally just posted about her husband like what a couple weeks ago, their anniversary. I
Uh-huh.
was like, she has been like my ultimate like travel
Mhm.
influencer goals for like since I've started. Like seriously,
Yeah.
she's amazing. So
Yeah, because I always hear about like the teacher turned travel blog and stuff like that, but she does a whole bunch of different things as
mhm,
well,
mhm.
within like her media things or whatever. But
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes like that's kind of where we get stuck. And so I don't know if you follow her,
Oh yeah.
Stephanie Perry. Oh, no, I was gonna say somebody else.
Oh,
Stephanie.
someone
Yeah, yeah.
Stephanie
Stephanie
Perry. Yeah, that's
Perry.
my girl too. Yeah.
Yes, I love her. So she's like the house sitting queen. So like with you, I think of teaching abroad. Like so, people have these different things, and even me, I look at you too because my background is like kind of higher ed too. So I'm like, okay, if I teach, I want to teach at a university like you. Like I don't want
Yes.
to be with the keys, and I don't want to do all that. But I feel like sometimes kind of we get stuck, and I'm like, I don't know if people know other things to do, and so I was going to ask you, like, do you feel like there's other ways to move abroad besides teaching? Like, is there some other, I guess, ways?
Well, gosh, it's the timing right now with the current administration is so tough. Because I used to like I said that master's program idea. Like
Mm.
initially, I was trying like literally a year or some change ago, I was trying to move into like foreign service and then like
Oh,
you
like
you
that.
looking at USA jobs and
Mm.
you see what happened. I said it's a blessing. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to. Like
Oh, yeah,
I
because
didn't even make it to the 5-6 months of waiting to hear back, and I didn't make it to the interview stage. And I'm like, then they cut all these
cut
hundreds of
the
thousands.
jobs.
So
Yeah.
I was like, that used to be my go-to. Like, oh, look into foreign service, look into U.S. aid, and I'm like, now I don't. Child, the struggle is really real. So like, education has been.
Mm. Education is like good, safe, but it's kind of like, you know.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are still some jobs out there when it comes to
Mhm.
like, with embassy. Like, there's embassy jobs, like but it's just not as prominent as it was at
Mhm.
one point. Like, it's really competitive to get into right now. So, and then obviously digital. Like, if you have like for example, like my girl Adrienne, like she's a graphic designer, and
Mm.
she goes and lives in Thailand for like 4 or 5 months at a time. So it's just like if you have a technical, like right now with AI. I would tell people to like even myself. I was like, I need to learn a new skill because I'm like, digital nomad life is the way to go. Like, you don't
Yes.
necessarily even have to work for someone else. You can have your own. If
Mhm.
you're a writer, if you're a freelancer, like make it do with it because the struggle is real. Trying to get hired with this other job.
It definitely is. To your point, like just being like military background, I do hear about that too. Like USA jobs. Like I know a girl. She said her parents live over there, and like a lot of military people live over there. This other lady was like, "Oh, you should look into this job. You should look into that job." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Actually, I've even thought about that. I haven't really seen any jobs, but it's like
Mhm.
more in Germany and different things like that. So that's actually a good point to like. Oh yeah, you could. I mean, depending on the administration, you could look at the USA job. So just to see if you
Right.
have skills. It is hard to get into like that thing without preference too.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a little bit about living in Oman because
Yeah.
you hear about Thailand, you hear about Mexico, like you hear about all the places. You don't really hear about too much about the Middle East, and I mean,
Yeah.
you hear about Dubai.
Of course.
People live there, but you don't hear too much about Oman. But I
Hmm.
want to know. Actually, I did an interview with you like 5 years ago. We talked about like the religion and different things like that, and like your passionate paycheck. But I wanted to talk to you kind of about like when it comes to moving, like these are the questions that people have. Like when you
Yeah.
think about visas or like staying in the country, like sometimes you have to stay in the country, then for like only 6 months if you're in Mecca or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
some of those things. When it comes to Oman, do you have any like I would say tips or tricks or like things that people need to know?
Oh yeah. Well, like I know if you are like with me, like I'm not a permanent. I'm saying permanent resident. Like I have residency through my
Mm.
job, right? So like every 2 years, I have to renew my visa, my residence visa, which is like you have to do a medical check and all these things, but it's like routine. They everybody from teachers to engineers, to like whoever's working there, like that's just the process of getting your visa renewed. Even though now I'm a direct hire, like I'm not the contract anymore, so it's relatively easy when you are getting like hired directly through
Mhm.
a company, but like I will say, like I think the tourist visas now for Americans is like 3 months at max. So
Oh.
like it's not like Dubai is actually they've increase that because they have like I think they have like a digital nomad type of visa now. So I think it's like
Mhm.
6 months. Like I have a few girlfriends who've done that who were like doing tech and stuff like that. Like they did a 6 month visa, so you can come in and out, freely. But then we call it visa run. Like you'll leave and then try to come back
Yeah.
in. And
What is a visa run? Can you tell me?
yeah, so for example, like the people who live in Dubai who might be on a digital nomad visa and they stay in the country for 6 months. Um, Before that 6 months ends, they might hop over to Oman and come for the weekend. Then they'll re-enter back into Dubai and like they'll renew their visa again. So
Oh, so
it's
you
just
have
like
to like leave
exit and come back in. Yeah, so
because
you
you can't
travel
stay over 6 months.
exactly, and not on that particular visa.
Oh,
So like, but Oman is only 3 months. So, some
okay.
countries I know we were talking about that on my expat panel actually at the Black Travel Conference.
Uh-huh.
Some countries are, they're paying attention how often you coming in and out. So it's just like, okay, you might need to break it up and not just run up for the weekend. You might want to travel and go to Thailand, go somewhere for a couple weeks and then come back. So it's just like you got to be smart with it if
Yeah,
that's what.
because now countries are catching on and stuff like that to see what people are saying and doing. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, that and someone was talking about visa runs. So I was like, I don't even know, but I feel like that's a big thing. Like, okay, how long can I stay in this country? But you didn't have to really deal with that because you got hired
exactly.
as a contractor.
Right. Right.
And
Well,
so,
yeah, yeah. So now I'm a direct hire. But before, like my first like 9 years, like I was every 2 to 3 years, I worked for like 3 or 4 different agencies. So like I was, I was a contract was with one of the agencies that was hiring the teachers. Now a lot of the schools and universities they don't even go through the agencies anymore. They just like, oh, I want direct hires now. So they cut out.
oh, yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because
yeah.
the contractors, they would kinda do your visa then probably, or like you're on a
Exactly.
work visa basically.
Right, exactly. So they used to
Mhm.
handle everything. So now we go directly to the university. Yep.
Oh, and so now you work with the university and you're kinda like a permanent or like
Exactly. Yeah, like a government, like I'm a government, hired directly through the Ministry of
Mhm.
Higher Education for me. But yeah,
This is just a random question because you work with a university. Do
yeah,
your students ever see any of your stuff online?
girl. Yeah. I tried for so long to like keep my lives separate, like teacher life over here and writer and blogger. But girl, they started finding me on Instagram, and I'm like, no, I don't want you guys to follow me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering about that because 'cause you're
Yeah,
at a university, you're not like at a,
exact. Oh
elementary school.
yeah, like I would, and I could tell when it's like one of my students. I'd be like, "Block, you're not about to be on my page,
You're not
But some of them fall through the cracks. So I'm just like,
Mhm.
and then like you say, like obviously like the CNBC that went viral. So just like
That
just like
yes. How did that
all like so,
come
and that
about?
was the thing. So now it's not just the students; it's like so many teachers now because they saw,
Oh.
oh, I saw your interview. Like every time I'm just walking on campus, and it was like, oh, I saw your
Mm.
interview. So now I'm like, oh Lord, everybody found me. So.
Yes, did you pitch to them or did they reach out to you?
I actually pitched to them.
Period.
Yeah, and this was the second. And so, what's funny? I pitched to them a few years ago, and I never heard back. This time I pitched to them. Like 2 or 3 days later, they wrote me back like quickly. Oh yeah, and
Okay.
I was just like, oh yeah. So I was like, okay, you gotta put yourself out there and keep trying.
Yes,
So
you never talk about pitching because I don't ever pitch chat. Like people don't really pitch. I didn't know if people pitch to them or they found people or whatever. Because I'm like, how are they doing it? So people must pitch to them. And they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I pitched them because the thing is, like, I had a couple friends, like one of my girlfriends who lives in Portugal. She was featured. I've had about two or three of like my friends in the travel community who were featured. And so, if you ever notice, like at the end of the episodes, or sometimes even at the like when they write the article at the end of the article, like if you think you'd be a good fit, and they have it right there, like it's like a forum. So I was watching. Actually, you know what happened? The guy that was featured in Dubai, I was watching his
I
episode.
watched his
Yeah,
too.
his was really good. And so when I watched his, I was just like, they're interested in people in the Middle East. So like like that,
Oh
and
yes, and
that's
then
when I reached out and
period. Because he had like he
Mhm.
lived off like was it like 400? I don't know. I remember something about 400,000 or he did something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He had his stuff together. I was just like,
yeah. I
hey, mom.
No, and how people pitch now is different. This is just a sidebar. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with it because, like what you were saying earlier, like it's great to pitch, but that's CNBC, so you already know like people are going to see that, and so then it kind of like makes it look like I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like
Yeah.
people are like, you know, people who are moving like expats, they're not expats, like they're gentrifying, you
Oh,
know,
girl.
yeah, they're gentrifying these countries and different things like that. But it's like we're not buying houses and land and stuff like that.
Yeah, don't get me started. Yes.
Yeah, you can have a back and forth about it or whatever. And then also it shows like America, like, oh yeah, you know, people just move abroad, but then you just move abroad and then so I'm like, it's just like the discourse kind of like is not always good. Some of it's good.
Yeah.
But I just see them like, like y'all showing America,
Right.
people in America, and then it's just like it's not
Right.
hitting the right people. So
No, it's true, and it's so funny you say that because, like, for me, it was crazy to see like so many people locally, like in Oman, who were like, worked in education or even just random people. Like, I went to the coffee shop and he was a barista. He was just like, "Oh, I saw your interview," and I was just like, I was so because I'm like, it's CNBC, so I'm thinking it's like the American market, but to see like people like when I was, but the beauty of it was. The people who really were interested in my story, like they were reaching out to me and inboxing me and just
mhm,
so at the end of the day, yes, there was negative discourse. Like if you looked at, I tried the first day or two. I think I looked at the comments because I was just trying to be like, oh, I want to reply and answer. And then I got overwhelmed and I was like, this is too much. Like it was like 75, 80% people were amazing. Oh my God, your story is so. But of course, you're gonna get the haters. You're gonna get the
yes,
negative. But that's just, and I knew I was excited. Like I got
mhm,
and I wasn't really sweating it. I knew it was going to come with, but at the end of the day, I was more focused on the people who were inboxing me and just being like, I want to do what you're doing. Like, like you said, I wrote a book about this topic. I was like, here's my book. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here. If you want to have a chat, let's have a chat.
mhm.
I ended up becoming charging a consultant fee because I was just like, I'm not giving out my knowledge for free. So, you know what I mean? So, like,
That's how you started the
that became
consulting.
that
I
I
was
had
about to ask you
I
that
had a few.
too.
I had a few calls because people were like they really wanted to talk to me, like run some ideas by me. So I was just like, yeah, my time is. I'm sorry, y'all. My time is valuable. Like obviously, I love doing podcast interviews and I love like talking to people like you. But if people
Mhm.
wanted to have like a one-on-one, I'm like that. People charge consulting fees for that. So I started doing it. So I was just like, look, y'all, I got 5 jobs. I'm busy.
Yeah. I was like, this is just me thinking because you're talking about like getting the red teacher. Have you ever thought about starting like
Mm-hmm.
um I guess like pitching or doing like a whole maybe what is it called like a summit or like a teaching abroad summit or something like that or expat abroad
Yeah.
summit or like because you do have a book too and I don't know if you do speaking engagements or whatever but because you do say you come
Mm-hmm.
here over in the summers I think that's cool too having that support being able to come over in summer like but I don't know if you thought about like hosting anything in the summers about like hey this is you could live abroad too or you could do that have you ever
Mm-hmm.
kind of thought about that too?
No, I've had people tell me several times, like, you're a teacher. Why don't you teach a course? Like, like doing a course or something like that, like a seminar. Now that is something to, you might be
Mm-hmm.
able to right there. That
People
is something to consider, because like I said,
to do it
I've
every
done speaking engagements. I've been on like panels and things like that, but I never like
Mhm.
thought that in that capacity of like having, like the consulting, like the one-on-one thing. But that
Yeah.
is something to consider, so.
Stephanie Perry and Rashida literally do their summit every year. I went to it twice.
Oh yeah. I spoke on. See, that's what I said. I spoke on there. They were like
Oh,
maybe
you did?
yeah, a few years ago. I want to say it was maybe 2020, yeah, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. I
Yeah,
spoke.
I went to the first one. I don't know if I went to that one,
Yeah,
the one that you were at, but I forgot what it was. Oh, the Exodus Summit.
the Exodus. Some. Yep.
So
Mhm.
they do it and they talk about different things.
Yeah,
I like their things. Well, I do love Stephanie Perry. I just can't house it. So I'm like, oh girl, I can't. But how many
yeah,
and then
yeah.
Rashida, so I'm like, it's cool, but like, so they talk about different things or whatever.
Hmm.
But like, even and they don't do teaching abroad or whatever. They have different things. But like, even you, like,
Right.
I don't know, you probably know a lot of people who
Oh,
do teach abroad, and
yeah,
so just doing like a teach abroad summer or something like that, that could
that's
be kind of something cool. And it's like,
about. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be like once a year or twice a year. How many? I don't know how many ever times a year. And
Yeah.
then like that could just kind of maybe, I don't know, supplement your income. I don't know if you
Oh,
can
you're
stay
right.
in Oman without being,
Mm-hmm.
but
Hmm.
they could just kind of like, help
Right.
bring money or do whatever you want to do. So,
Right, and that's the thing. Like that's I've been having a ball. Like I've been enjoying Oman, but I was like, there's going to come a point where I'm like, okay, where to? Like my
mhm.
ultimate goal, my dream is like to retire in Portugal. You
Oh,
know,
it
and
is.
yeah, that's like my dream. So I'm
Oh,
just
I
like,
feel
yeah,
that.
but
Oh my gosh, Stephanie Perry said she loved Portugal. I
yeah,
never been to Portugal. She did. She said she would move there, something like that. But she said it was
it's
too hot or something. I forgot.
It's fabulous. Yeah, and I mean that's also
Mhm.
my girlfriend Shar Winter. She was one of the first ones I saw. She was featured on CNBC, the Make It series a few years ago. And so like when I was contacted to be interviewed, well, to be considered to be interviewed, when I reached out to her and I was just like, girl, like CNBC, they want to interview, they might interview me. So she was giving me advice like, about how to answer
Mhm.
the questions and stuff before they finally picked me. She was like, girl, you be shooing. So yeah, but she bought a property in Portugal. Because I'm just like, sisters, they're out here doing it. Like they really are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like so people like me, if you have any advice, so like say me like I want to go abroad, but I maybe want to teach, but like I don't know where to go or how to start.
Yeah.
Like how
Yeah.
do I know what city to look at? How do I know what, like, I guess I don't even know what it's called. What is it called? Company, you're saying like,
Historical. Yeah.
yeah, like, okay, like I want to move abroad or I want to teach abroad. Like, what is your advice to people who want to do it? And
Yeah.
kind of like, how do you go about that?
Yeah, it's just like I basically, from my experience, like I tell people, I taught in South Korea for 3 years, and I always tell people I was just like, if you are a newbie interested in getting into ESL, like I would say to consider like Southeast Asia, like Japan, Korea, like that's just an easier way. Like some people reach out to me like, oh, I want to teach in the Middle East. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you want to start in that region because
Why not?
it ain't easy, child. I mean, it is competitive too. Like a lot of people, the money, like I said, I don't make a ton of money in Oman, but like it is tax free in the region. So just like a lot of people want to go to Dubai. Everybody's about,
Oh,
that's why I ended up in Oman because I was just like it was easier foot in the door compared to like Dubai or UAE. Everybody was trying to go there, but now even Oman, like people are learning about, it's becoming more prominent. So it's just like it's really competitive. Like, and a lot of times they want you to have experience already before because they know the Middle East is not easy for the average
mhm.
expat. So they're like, they want you to have experience elsewhere. So I always tell people to consider like, China, Korea, Japan. Like there's so many opportunities there. And they're just like, oh, you're American, you have an English accent. Like they're just like, come. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
just
actually was supposed to move to China
see.
during the pandemic. Right
Oh,
before the pandemic. So that's kind of
yeah.
like, yeah, I never went because of the pandemic. So I kind of just push it back. But my dad loves Korea. I actually visited Korea when I was younger. My dad's like, you should go to Korea or whatever. But I'm like, I don't even know too much about South Korea to kind
Yeah.
of do it. But I do remember you saying, and I know this other girl who did South Korea. I know other people who did like jet program. I'm like, I feel like it's kind of overwhelming because there's like so many options
Yeah.
to do it. But then it's
Yeah.
like kind of where do you go with it? And I
Right.
think sometimes like your story is really good because you didn't well, you've been there for like 15 years, but I feel like sometimes it's hard because if
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, I'm like, dang, if I go over and do this and then like come back, like, am I going to get a job?
Ooh, girl, that's I know it's so funny because I was just having that conversation with my mom. I'm here in the States, right? And I was just telling her, I was like, Ma, I was like, I can't even wrap my head around like repatriation. Like you expatriate when you leave,
Hmm.
repatriation when you come back. And I'd be telling her like, I can't even like wrap my head around trying to repatriate back into the States because I've been gone for so long.
Yeah.
Like I know people do it, but I know people who do it and they come back for a couple of years and they be out again. So like, I was telling, I was like, I got so many friends now who have come back and left again. Like now I'm like, I get it because I was like, that will probably be me in 9 out of 10 if I tried to come back. Like,
Hmm.
so grateful because my mom is so understanding. Like she's like, girl, you're living your best life. But like, like as long as you come back, I get to see you for a little bit. That's all that matters. So like she thank God she hasn't been down my throat about trying to come back because she was just like, I get it. She was like, you have a good life. Like most people would like die to like have that opportunity. So
Because to be
yeah,
honest, I was trying to
and
be like Onika. I was trying to be like, okay, let me I was trying to get to 30 countries by 30. That didn't quite work. But I said, let me do my little teaching. Let me, because I created
yeah,
a travel blog and everything. I mean, I still
I
have my,
know, I know. Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
remember
created
going. Yeah.
yeah, I created everything, and I'm like, now I ain't got nothing to talk about, so I feel like I'm wasting my money on the travel blog, but it
Uh,
is what it is because I don't even travel that much anymore, or whatever. But yeah, I created all that to like share the
yeah.
experience, and it was just like, well, dang. So I
I
don't know.
understand. It's that's why I like to tell people like it's not easy. Like,
Mhm,
I don't want to be like, oh, it's so glamorous and it's so perfect. Like, no, there are pitfalls and it's, it's not easy. It's not for everybody. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, my motto has been like at the end of the day, the US home ain't going nowhere. Like if you decide to go abroad for a year or two and then you're
mhm.
like, this ain't it, come back, home is gonna be there. Like,
That's
so I'm just like, you got nothing to lose by trying, but at the
mhm,
same token, do your research, reach out to people, like, you know what I mean? Like be, mentally prepare for it because you gotta be strong,
mhm.
to go on the other side of the globe from your friends and family. So
Yeah, definitely. To that point, how is it working like at the university? Like, is it a lot of Americans? Is it like a lot? I don't know what Middle Eastern
yeah,
people.
yeah. It's funny because like in the English department, I will say we're quite diverse. Like there's like in context, my university, it's not huge, like, but there's like a handful of Americans who teach in my particular program, in the English department. But there's a lot of Indians. I have some
Mm.
South African friends, like,
Mhm.
and there used to be some people from UK. So like we're from all over,
Okay.
But as far as Americans are concerned, like I can count us on one hand, And so at my university, and I can think like there is a Black like American like group that I'm part, like the Brothers and Sisters of Oman, like the expat group. So like we are there, but as far as like at my particular university, it's not a lot of us, but
Mhm.
there's some people who are teaching. There's some like one of my girlfriends. She has her own business. Like there's a couple business owners. There's some engineers. There's
Oh,
embassy folks. Like we are there.
yeah, that's good.
It's not huge, but it's
Mhm.
I like to let people know like there are opportunities. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask, how do you build like how was it building community there? Because
mhm.
so many people I see, like, some families, but a lot of single people I see moving, like no kids, like
Yeah,
not married. Like, how did you build your community? I feel like that's kind of what people are
yeah.
nervous and scared about.
Yeah, and I get that, and then that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm very like, obviously I'm a blogger, so like I'm very active on social media. So, it's like, and I've now been in Oman for so long. Like, I'm that go-to person. Like, people reach out, like, girl, where you go get your hair done? So, like, before a lot of
You
Black
be
people
sharing it,
they
or
yeah,
you be gatekeeping?
say right.
Do you be sharing it, or do you be
No,
gatekeeping?
no, no, no. I'm not one of them. No, I'm all about like girl. I was that person when I first came, so I get it. I'm paying for it. I'm gonna share. But
Yeah.
so yes, a lot of people reach out to me. So like then when they reach out to me, they're like, oh, I'm coming to Oman. So like it's been easier the longer I've been here to meet
Mhm.
connections. But in the beginning, like I was just like everybody else. I was just like, oh, how am I gonna get out here and meet people? So like. Have you ever heard of Internations? Do you know, like, they're actually, it's funny because they're actually based in Germany. Like, the headquarters, like, Internations started in Germany, but now they're all over the world. Like, they're in over 100 countries. So, like, my first go to is like, okay, let me look on Internations. Let me see what meetups they're doing, what, activities. So, like, even that's where I met my ex boyfriend. Like, some years ago, we actually met at a networking event, exchanged numbers and dated for years. So I was like, I'm like, yeah, go to Internations events and network and meet other people who aren't just at your university or wherever you work.
Mm,
You can
mhm,
meet other expats who are trying to make friends. So, just like how we got like meetup.com here or whatever.
mhm.
It's similar to that, but it's like an international version. So they have like,
Oh,
if you're into music, if you're into poetry, if you're into hiking,
mhm,
like they have different community groups that you can join and meet people. So yeah, so like things like that, like obviously, luckily for me, I do work at a university, so we do have other teachers and we have like game nights, we do all that type of stuff.
mhm.
But yeah, but so like Internations was a big one for me to like start making connections outside of like my local community. And then like I said, we got the Brothers and Sisters of Oman group, so people learn about like other Americans through social media. Like even before I went to Korea, I remember I started asking questions on the Brothers and Sisters of South Korea group. So
Mhm.
like that was like social media, make it work for you, like research and make connections.
Yes, I was in that group on Facebook too. I remember that. Have you ever thought, this is just me actually thinking, have you ever thought about like planning like a group trip to Oman? Like, have you ever thought
Yeah,
about creating it for people?
Yes, honestly, it's so funny because like I've had people who were like, "I want to come to Oman." I'm like, "I'm a travel agent. Like this is what I do. Like I'm writing about all these amazing resorts and places. I'm like, let me plan it for you." So like, I have had people reach out to me, so like plan their trips for them individually, or they like one or two friends, but like a big group like
Yeah,
trip.
like you hosted.
It's funny because like actually you mentioned Nubia, me and we were. I don't want to put our business out there, but that was something we had talked about, possibly
Uh-huh.
like doing a retreat together. So like
Oh
that is
yes, baby, she got Black and Tulum down.
see, see, I
Yeah,
know. So
Black
that's
and
what I said. I
Tulum.
need to actually reach out to her and see how she doing. But yeah, but we literally were having talks about that, like. But then everything started happening with Iran and Israel. So I was like, I don't know if she got kind of like nervous,
Mm,
like. So we gotta, but
what's
yeah,
happening?
that's something that I have definitely thought about
Yeah.
doing. So
I'm like, dang, maybe I should have her on here.
see,
Yeah, 'cause
I know, but they're not gonna say booked and busy. So
uh-huh. Yeah. Maybe I was like, maybe I know she does podcasting and different things like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Have you I don't know if you thought about podcasting, but I know like you have YouTube, but I don't know if you do your like.
I'm
Have
not
you
real
ever thought?
active on there as I should be. Honestly, people keep telling me it's like, "Oh, you need to be on YouTube more." And so, you are so like I was watching some of your stuff earlier, just like
Oh,
you
thank
talk, girl. You be like, let me talk about this program, and like you are just so like. And for me, like I'll have a conversation, like people interview me on podcasts,
you. Uh-huh.
like a conversation, but I still to this day, I've been gone for all these years. I'm still just like, let me just hop in on here and just start talking to people. Girl,
Mhm.
you gotta be brave to do that. You know what I mean? I'm the writer. I'm the behind the scenes girl.
Mm.
So I'm trying to get more like I've been on TikTok more. I'm trying to get more comfortable, just like
Yeah, I seen that. Yes,
girl.
I feel like writing to me it is definitely great. I just
Mhm.
feel like it takes so much time, like too much time. So I'm more of a boom, let's talk about it, let's get it, let's do it. But I
Mhm.
was thinking because from all the interest from like the CNBC thing or whatever,
Sure.
and like somebody else did it. I watched somebody else and I think that they lived in China. They or maybe I'm watching on I'm watching it on YouTube, my bad. But
Mhm.
she does like life in China.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, like even doing like, a day in the life of like and living in Oman or like
Right.
that type of stuff. I feel
Right.
like that is really big. And so I'm honestly just like, oh, that could,
Yeah.
help you or like kind of get you big or whatever.
No, you're right.
Different people do different things, but
Mhm.
it's just like, oh, you're talking about like the digital nomad stuff and different things like that is kind
Yeah.
of
And
why.
it's funny because like that was one of the things for me, like being like you said, just talking like about my life. But you have so many influencers who are just like they just go out about they're just walking, they're just like, oh, type of and being in Oman where it's more conservative compared to like a Dubai, even Dubai, like you still gotta be careful because like local stuff, they don't want to be on camera. So it's just like
Mhm.
it's like I think, compared like if I was in South Korea, I'm like, girl, yeah, I could be all on video and nobody thinking about me. But these are things that I think about. I'm just like, okay, being respectful to culture. You know what I mean? But
Oh
yeah, but
yeah.
like, but being on camera, just myself talking, like, yeah, girl, like
Mhm.
that's the
Oh,
problem.
but it's a cultural thing. Like you don't like people don't because people don't have cameras out and like doing it. But in South Korea, they always have their camera out.
Oh yeah, because like that's just Asian. Like Asians, they love like you look at a lot of the top influencers, like I'm like they're more
Maybe
they're
rating
more that's more of
people.
their culture. You know what I mean? But it's not
Mm.
culturally accepted to like film, like especially like women, Middle Eastern women, they do not want it. Like no, only my family can.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've
'cause,
heard
like,
that actually.
even when I did like for example my CNBC interview, like they wanted me to be out and about and like go have a coffee and it was Ramadan, so it was just like that was a whole nother thing. It was just like things were closed during the day, so like I had.
Mm-hmm.
But like for example, going to like a five-star resort, that St. Regis I went to, like they were cool with me taping there, in certain segments because like it was a lot of tourists. But if I went to like the regular coffee shop and like they saw like the camera, you had to be careful because like the people are gonna be like, no, I don't want to be on video. Like they don't want to be on video. Even my local like Omani taxi driver, like I remember when he was going to take me to Muscat. And I was just like, they want to get a video of me like walking into the taxi and just like exchanging. He was like, okay, well you can exchange, you can show them take paying me, but I can't show my face. Like it's just not culturally like they don't accept that. So I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How does it? How is it? I don't necessarily know. Not religious, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
think you're Muslim, right? Well, I don't know. You're not Muslim, correct?
I'm not Muslim. No,
Yeah. I didn't. I knew you wasn't Muslim, but
uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, how is it living in a Muslim country and not being Muslim?
Honestly, it's not like my motto is as long as you're respectful to the culture, you will be respected. So like for me, I don't have any problems because like I get it. Like I'm in their country. I'm going to
Mhm.
dress I'm going like luckily even I'm not Muslim, I don't have to cover my hair or anything. They like I'm not Muslim, so I don't have to wear like a hijab. They understand that. But I'm going to wear appropriate clothing. When I'm going to certain like even my city is more conservative than like say Muscat. I'm in the inner city. Well, not inner city, but
That's
within the inner country. Yeah, Muscat's the capital of Oman, and then I live in
mhm.
Nizwa. So Nizwa is a bit more conservative than like the capital Muscat. That's like going like Dubai versus Abu Dhabi, right? You know what I mean? So like Dubai, they're like, oh yeah, you can go to the mall and wear short shorts. Like you can get away with that stuff there. But like if you go to Abu Dhabi, they're gonna be looking at you like, girl. So that's similar to like going to Muscat versus Nizwa. Like if I go,
Mm.
if you're coming to Nizwa, you have like a skirt on that's shorter than your knees. Like they will literally be like, you can't come into the mall with that on. Like yeah, they don't play.
Did you
So
have to
like
change
because
your
that's it.
style?
What's that?
Did you have to change your style when you moved, or
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, because like I mean, it's just like like I just knew I'm like I'm not gonna wear short shorts. I'll say that for the summer. You know what I mean? Like I can show off my legs in the summer, but
like?
where I live, like I just know better. I'm not gonna like I got right now. I got capris on. I got like so like my style has I become like I realized I was like I be looking like oh those short shorts like do you? But I don't do that anymore. Like and so I
Mhm.
literally just had a post show up on Facebook today, and it was just like I was in London. I had these itty bitty shorts on. I was just like, oh girl, you wouldn't do that nowadays. But that's also because I gained some weight. That's a whole
Yeah,
other story.
I'm telling you that there's two factors.
But it's like yeah, my style really has changed compared to like
Mm.
prior to living to the Middle East. I'm like yeah.
And that's what I think is kind of like different. Like it's kind of annoying when people do that because it's like you have to remember, like even when I think about like you are not in America.
Yeah.
Even I'd be like, I don't even want to go to Mexico without even like knowing like hola, like I play like I know a little bit. I'd be like poquito, like hola, but like knowing a little bit of something, like I can have a conversation, baby. I know El Baño, I know the bathroom, I know him, like I know a little bit, but like
Right.
you are not like you're American, but you're not in America, and that's why I'm not very conservative when it comes to clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I could be in the Middle East because my legs be showing, child. So I don't know.
See, yeah, you like that ain't gonna work for me. See,
Yeah,
that's what
I
it's
don't
not
know
for
because
everybody. Like, it's
I'm
not for everybody, girl.
yeah, I'm not very good. I don't want to say I'm not very conservative, but baby, if it's hot, like I'm sorry, I'm not wearing pants. I'm not doing that. But I'm like
Mhm.
sometimes even in Dubai, like like you just can't be out here just do well. They don't know, but I'm like you just can't be out here like this. Not your country.
They
So it's just
should
like
know, girl.
yeah, they should know. Like you should be
Mhm.
respectful. Now, what I say, like if I do, like I do want to go to Dubai,
Right.
I'm gonna know, like, hey, okay, maybe I'm not gonna wear well, I don't even wear booty shorts, but like maybe I'm not gonna wear a shirt that shows my boobs or something like that. Like
Yeah,
maybe I'm a little
exactly.
bit covered or something like that. Now that I know, but honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't know how conservative is, but nowadays, like you hear people talking about it, you see people living, you see people on TikTok, whatever. Like I didn't know how conservative it was until like people are
Mhm.
talking about it, and then you showing them. But it's kind of like a culture now. When you hear like, oh, they're Muslim,
Yeah,
then I'm like, okay, I like it correlates like
please, right.
Muslim conservative, like okay, maybe not filming and stuff like that. I do think about that, but I guess off the back, I want to be like, oh yeah, the Middle East
Yeah,
is conservative, but when you hear like everything that like happens, is like yeah, okay,
right.
I
And
get it.
that's the thing about it because like I like to put it in context. Like Oman is not a big country. Like it's only the population of the country is 5 million. I used to live in Chicago before moving. Like the population of
Mm,
Chicago, like the city of Chicago is 5 million.
like, yeah,
The whole little country of Oman, the population is 5 million. So like it's not a big country. You know what I mean? And like and then, like
mm,
mostly everybody's Muslim. They're most of them are locals. Like the expat population, we may not even be a million. We might be. I'm not exactly sure the numbers anymore, but you put that in context. Dubai, even though it's a Muslim country, 80% of the population, I don't know, the numbers keep changing, but at least 80% of the population of Dubai is expats. So like that's so when you
oh,
yeah, it's like even though like Dubai is bigger than Oman, most of the people that live there aren't
Well, they're expats.
so that's why like it's so much more laid back because a lot of the people
Mhm.
who live there are from other countries because they're contributing to the the country like they help
Uh-huh.
build it, they help start this business. So it's like it's a little more lenient, a little more laid back compared to like my conservative Oman where like the majority of the population is
It's
the
locals.
you
Mhm.
get it. So yeah.
That makes sense too. I think that's a good thing too, kind of knowing where you're at. Cause it's like me, I'm
Yep.
like, dang, I do want some black people, right? But you like, if you go to this city, you might not be that many black expats. But then like, well, why would you want to go to a city? Well, you also want a layer of comfortability too. Like, okay, I want to know, like maybe there's not have to be so many black people. But I'm like, I need to know, at least one black person, child.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, I
But
think
we everywhere, girl. We are.
yeah. Like I think that is good to know too. Like knowing the city that you're going to.
Mhm.
Dubai, you could be a little bit more, a
Oh
little bit more laid back.
yeah,
This one you can be even like when you think about, I don't know, like Mexico or the Caribbean, like, well,
yeah.
people love Mexico. People love what is it called? Uh dang it, Limon, Costa Rica. Like some people love Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't been to Costa Rica, but I
I,
know somebody that lives there. Like, so there's
yeah.
aspects different places, but it's like when you're comparing it, like, okay, what was on your top list, I guess, because you said you went to South Korea, you went to
Oh my.
Germany, and like what's the top thing on your list? Is it cost of living? Is it the expat community? Is it the job? Like
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like for me, it's always been an opportunity. Like cost of living. I learned from experience. You know what I mean? Like the cost of living in Oman is not. I broke that all down in that CNBC
Mhm.
day in the life. Like it's definitely cheaper to live there, even in South Korea. Like I just learned about it. Trial and error when I, from living. Yeah, but I think I've been very fortunate because like even in Germany, like Germany, the cost of living was like really cheap. So like it's like everywhere I've been, it's been cheaper than the States. So
Yeah,
and
you
but
like the
it was
place
really
ain't gonna see
but
me.
those weren't the deciding factors for me. Like honestly, let me take that back because when I was comparing Japan versus South Korea, cost of living was part of the reason that I chose Korea. Now I think about it.
Korea over
Yeah,
Japan.
Korea over Japan. That's true. That
Mhm.
was a deciding factor. So I'm gonna take that back. But Oman, like when I decided to move there, I just was like, I just wanted a new experience. So it was kind of it was about the experience and like the opportunity. Like
Mhm.
when I was applying for jobs in the region, that just was what the opportunity that I went. But it's been a blessing because like everything has been really like from Korea to Germany to Oman, like everything's been bam bam bam. Like cost of living has been good. So like,
Mhm.
now that we're having this conversation, I'm just reflecting like that.
Like
That
think, yeah, quality. So do you think that you living abroad is contributing to your soft life?
oh girl, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true. Like, yeah, and it's so funny because like I literally just this past weekend I was hanging out with my sister and my cousin, she saw my CNBC interview. She was just like, girl, I thought you made more like, she was just so frank. She was like, I thought you made more money over there, living over there in the Middle East. And y'all just like, see, I was like, that's part of the reason I wanted to do that CNBC feature because I wanted people to see, like, even though I looks like I'm living in the lap of luxury, I'm just like, your girl is a blogger. So like a lot of these 5-star resorts I'll be going to, I'm either getting a discount or I'm getting for free. So I'm not paying $800, $900 a night. Like I don't get it like that. Like people see me, they live in this life,
Mhm.
they thinking I'm
They
out here.
do.
No, but
They think I got money just 'cause I went to Florida.
see
Like,
this. So can you imagine? So they see me going to Dubai like once a month, and they really think I'm doing it like that. I'm like, no, I'm going. I'm pitching hotels for free stays, and so I know how to do
that's
those.
a course right there.
Listen, yes, that's true. That
That
is
is.
true. I did do a picture. No, this is years ago. But I did do a picture course once. It was me and another friend. So yeah, that is something that I've
Mhm.
done. But yeah. So I'm like, I'm living this life, but it ain't. I'm ready. I'm definitely ready for my full. Like I'm about 50. Like I'm on my way to the full software life. I ain't there yet. I ain't where I want to be, but I'm on my way.
Okay.
I'm like, I was like, where's my husband? Where he at?
Oh, period. Okay,
I'm sad.
yes, that's the. Well, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you. I don't know. I don't know if you would date Muslims or if you date Muslim men, but is it different?
Child, I've tried and I don't need to do it again. It's definitely different. It's different. You know what I mean? Like when I dated someone who was a local, who was African Omani, and like he was more
There's
West.
Africans over there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, girl.
African Omani? baby, Africa's taking over.
Listen, we everywhere. I told you we everywhere. So, and I think, I'm not gonna obviously bash, like,
Mhm.
there is some perks to, being a Muslim person, but if they are, like, for example, I have some of my American guy friends that are in this Oman. They're Muslim, but they're American Muslim. So, like,
There's a difference
there's a
between.
different positioning versus like a Omani or an Emirati. Like, culturally, they're not supposed to date. Like, that's just not how they're not supposed to date. Like, so times are changing. I would say the younger generation, they're trying to be like, oh, I want to, be who I want to be with, but culturally, that's not how it is. Like, the family is supposed to find a wife. So, let's think,
Oh, it's supposed to be arranged.
arranged.
Still now.
Still, you see, that's what I said. Still to this day, that's how. So, like, I know better now. I was like, that first, it was cute, but no, it didn't last for a reason. And I don't need to do that again. So, like, I prefer like another expat who,
Hmm.
that's the most ideal situation. Who's like maybe Christian or other whatever, but yeah,
Hmm.
trying to date a local is just
It's not it. Yeah.
it ain't it.
Yeah. I was gonna say people talk about like dating and different things like that. There's some people are like, it's good, it's not good. So that's why I was just kind of wondering about that because you
Mm-hmm.
the husband part. But I don't know if you remember her. I haven't seen her in a long time because new Instagram. But Tia, she met somebody. Tia Takes the World. Do you know who that is?
Oh, you know what's so funny? Me and like, she's right there in Dubai, right? Like,
Yeah.
we chat, and like the last couple times I've gone to Dubai, I hear her up like, "Girl, and then she be traveling, and
Yeah.
so and then this is the problem. We be trying to link up, but it's just like
Mhm.
schedule. And then one time she was sick, so it's just like but yeah, but we chat all the time, and we just have not been able to be in the same place at the same time.
Yeah, because she met her man abroad
See,
and they got married.
that's what I'm saying. I know several girlfriends. It can work.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. But like, he American shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, another expat will be the ideal situation. So, like,
Yeah, I need to bring
yeah.
the extra. And it's crazy because
Mhm.
I see some black men. I definitely follow just one now, but even to your point about the one that we both watched on CNBC,
Yeah.
you see like a lot of more women, I guess, in general, like black women. So I don't even see that many black men. So I'm just like, either I find a man here and he wants to be open, to
Yeah.
move abroad, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard because people are already in their ways here. But it's like if you meet somebody over there, you're like, okay, you already know, like, is you're good or whatever to go. So I think
Mhm.
that's kind of different. I feel like women are more like they're like, okay, but I'm going. But men, I feel like it's kind of harder for
It's
them.
definitely harder. So that's what I'm saying. When, like, girl, I told you, I was like, hey, Jamal, when I saw him in Dubai. How you
Yeah,
doing? How you doing? You right next door. But yeah, it's few and far between. It's hard, out here trying to meet,
yeah,
somebody
and
like
then that
who's
goes to a
on this
whole
wave, especially like if you want to, like for me personally, like, you know, some people, like some of the guys I used to talk to back in the day, they'll be like, "Girl, when you coming back to the States?" Like they think, "Oh, when you coming back, when you finish playing,
Mhm.
no. This is like my lifestyle. This is what I like." So,
Yeah.
like, in a most ideal world, I would like to meet someone who is on the same wave as me, who wants to
Mhm.
travel the world and live abroad and stuff like that. So,
'Cause you want to retire in Portugal.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. But it's hard,
Yes.
really
That's
meeting
crazy.
somebody who wants to be on that same wave.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that is cool. Well, as we like wrap it up, thank you so much for chatting with me and talking. This has been really, really good. Y'all
Yeah.
make sure y'all like this and follow her as well too if you're interested in travel blogging, pitching, everything like that. Life in Oman. I think you could really do that. I mean, I do understand
Mhm.
as maybe just like talking, not recording, because I think it can kind of give people like a different perspective or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you were talking about how you want to move to Portugal, and I was gonna say, what makes you want to go to Portugal, or like, are you kind of headed to Portugal? Like, are you just,
I'm not headed to, no, like, I like to tell people right now, like, even in my interview I was saying, like, that's the dream destination, right? But
mm-hmm.
I realized, like, I never saw myself being in Oman for 10 plus years. So I'm like, I am flexible. I'm open to where opportunity presents itself. Like, the dream in my dream, I see myself in Portugal or somewhere in Europe. It can be Spain, it can be Italy. Like, and
Really?
I want to have a property, and I want to do a hostel. So, like, that's the
Oh,
dream.
a hostel
But
would be
yeah,
so
I thought that would be so cool. So
cool.
that's the ultimate goal. Portugal is what I envision, but I haven't like I've researched, like I've looked into it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not there financially yet to make that happen. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm if let's my property might pop up somewhere else. It can pop
Mhm.
up in Ghana. It can be Africa. Like I'm just
Have
really
you been to
like
Africa?
yeah, girl. I've been to like 9 countries, girl.
In
So
Africa?
yeah, that's why I like living in the East because it's like everything is just like right there, right there.
Oh,
So
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 bad.
yeah,
I
but
want to go to
like
South
I
Africa
love
so
South
bad.
Africa, like South Africa. I love South Africa. So
Yeah,
like
I do. I think I remember you said. I remember you went to South Africa. I'm trying to
so at the end of the day, yes, Portugal is the dream, but I'm also open to
go.
where
Open.
opportunity presents itself. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Have
We'll
you?
see.
Yeah, that's so cool. I like the hostel with the Europe thing. It's like this girl, she owns the hotel, but I know this other
Mhm.
girl, I think her name was like Amber, but she would do like there weren't retreats, but she would like host people in Mexico and I think Portugal like for like a month to help them like, get situated
Yeah.
stuff like that. I think that was her name, but I was gonna say, have you like stayed an extensive time in Portugal? Like have you thought about staying in the summer there or something like that? Or you just kind of
I've been a couple times, and the last time I went, it was kind of for me. It was kind of like scouting. Like I wasn't there for like months at a time, but I was there for. I went over my summer break. I went for a little bit, and it just felt like home. You know what I mean? Like it just felt just like, you know what I mean? Like I can breathe. I don't know, just something about that place, and it's just like, and I know there's like a thriving, like a Black expat community there, like Black American. So that's part
Oh.
of it too. Like, and then looking at like the visa opportunities, like there are several reasons why it made
Do
higher
they
on.
be speaking? They be speaking Portuguese though. Was they speaking English?
Yeah, it depends on what region you're in. Like in Lisbon, like a lot of Black Americans are there,
Yeah,
but if you want to become a resident, you do. I need to start studying now. Truth be told, like you are right about that. Like that is something that it's going to help with the residency if you can speak
yeah,
Portuguese.
Portuguese. Portugal is actually one of the states that they were talking about. I don't know. I'm not saying anything, but the people was mad at Portugal. They were saying that there's so many expats that they're
Oh,
like
I know, and
being
that's why I'm just like I'm a realist. Like Portugal's been my dream destination for years, but a lot has changed, and
yeah,
so I'm
like
paying
they can
attention.
afford it.
They
Yeah,
they they kind of mad at some of us because we're just coming in abundance. So that's why
yeah.
I said I was like, let's see what the future holds. That's why I'm.
They owe everything because they was
Hmm.
doing slavery. So
Well,
bye.
I know, girl. I know the history. I know
So
the
bye Portugal and Spain to me.
history. See, I get it. In and end, I totally understand. But I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that was our conversation. That's why I said it wasn't an interview, it was just conversation about your life living in Oman. And I really appreciate it. Let them know where they can follow you at and anything else that you have like upcoming that you want to share.
oh yeah, definitely. Well, you see, I have my little hashtag there. You can follow me on Instagram
It's
and TikTok.
not showing. Mine
Oh, really? Okay, I added a couple.
isn't showing either. Did I do something?
I didn't even realize that until you said, yeah, I don't know what happened. But anyway, my hash is at Nicole.ILoveTheGlobeTrot on Instagram and on TikTok, and then I Love the Globetrot on Facebook and um X, which I'm not really on much, but yeah. So yeah, you can follow me. Yeah, if you Google I Love the Globetrot, you can find me everywhere.
Yes, I am so sad though. It
I,
usually
I didn't even
shows.
realize that until literally until I was like, wait, I did type it, but I don't know where it went.
Me too. I don't know. I don't know, but
Good
definitely
old technology.
yes, follow. And y'all make sure you subscribe, follow me, put in the comments who else I should bring on this series. And I do want to thank you for being like my first one. This is a little pilot, so we gotta see if people are interested. But yeah, I'm trying to get back into my,
Mhm.
YouTube back. I took a long break.
Oh,
And my channel is all about like traveling and talking, but sometimes when you can't travel, you just gotta kind of pivot. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I
I
get
don't
that.
say I can't travel, but I don't really travel that much. So
Right.
I'm like, but talking about travel, I can do that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, doing my like travel Tuesdays, and so I did that about Essence. So I said, I just be coming up with ideas. So I said, let
Mhm.
me do
Mhm.
Wanderlust Wednesday. Like,
But that's what I love about you. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, this girl, she just like, I'm gonna make it happen. Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try, and that's how you gotta be. Like, I'm taking note.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. Yeah, because at this point, I'm like everybody popping on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to figure it out. And I've been doing it to your point. You were talking about blogging or like something about 2019. I actually started blogging when I studied abroad, like 2017. Like that's kind of when I started. But
Yeah.
then I was like, dang, I should have recorded that one, but then like doing YouTube or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's just like, trying to figure out how to come back, kind of how you're like saying,
Mhm.
like trying to find my path or whatever. But when
Right.
I talk about women abroad, people are like, you should like, share it on YouTube, share it on YouTube or whatever. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna
Yeah.
see. Y'all better subscribe and watch my videos, child.
See?
So yeah, I'm like, let me get my YouTube up, you
Yeah.
know,
I
get
get it.
monetized and then yeah.
Yes.
But
I
I appreciate it. Thank you for seeing me. I always
Hey.
try to always try to like and comment. I know it's on 2 different time zones. So I was like, okay, you're in America right now. This would
Yeah.
be great.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, so have a great night. Make sure y'all like this live, and I will see y'all next time.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.